Hello and welcome to RC Racing TV's highlights of the 112 Stock European Championship from Scandiano, Italy and the RC Landia track. We're here thanks to EFRA, of course, with Zen Racing, Protoform and RC Timing. So 2 days of qualifying meant that Markus Mobers, the reigning champion, was actually in pole for stock. Then it's Hupo Honigl, Alexander Laurent, Francesco Martini, Chris Kurzweil, Mark Stiles tied together as they always are in 5th and 6th, Vaser Lee in 7th, Helge Hansen 8th, Jörg Michael Tiet is 9th and Simon Rubet brings up the rear. And we are going. A clean start for Mobers, a clean start for Honigl, and also in 3rd place from Alexander Laurent. But it's off and away a Mobers car looking very settled. This machine took 4 out of 5 TQs and then didn't bother running in round 6 because he'd already got the pole nailed down. He is the current reigning European Championship Markus Mobers. Behind him, Hupo Honigl, who won this stock class back in France in 2011, which was the previous time it was held. There was no championship in 2012 because it was a World Championship. So the Scandinavia circuit, it's a tricky one. It's bumpy, it's got quite old carpet, which just means it's laid down and looks difficult and is difficult, and it's also, of course, got a mix of additives, both oily and water-based, and that's caused a number of problems, and so many big names have struggled, but not these 2 European champions who've used all the experience of many years racing these lethally fast 112 cars, especially at stock level, to get themselves at the front of the grid. And as you can see, as we tick now into the first minute or so, it is time to see that the cars are easing out. In fact, this is kind of a bit of a 2-horse race with Mobers in the yellow and black machine leading around the all-white of Hupo Honigl. Hupo ensconced his normal bright blue and yellow colours because when he got here, he decided the body shell he had wasn't giving him the feel he wanted, and he swapped to a new Protoform one that has a slightly different design and therefore allows him different handling characteristics, be it downforce or corner speed or whatever. In fact, Honigl beginning to get a little bit closer to Mobers, but Mobers has the advantage of a clear track ahead. It really is all about these 2 drivers. The Frenchman Alex Laurent, who's in 3rd, is nowhere. Francesco Martini has already retired from 4th. Then you hear the word Martini, and that actually is the Martini. Francesco is part of the family, who, of course, their major claim to fame is the vermouth, and also the fact that they like to be shaken and not stirred. So Honigl coming round the track, looking to see what he can do, whether he can get closer to Mobers. They're down the main straight, into the TV turns, in, out, nice round there. They come now to the Hots hairpin, straight down the short chute, and up now into the Zen Z before they turn right back into the Protoform P, and up now that's the Center S, because every track has to have a Center S, just even though it's the slowest part of the track, and he wouldn't really like it. So already coming up to lap people, but it's an amazingly consistent gap. This gap is not moving. I'd say it's about a second, or perhaps 3/4 of a second. It's been this way for the last 5 or 6 laps. So, Honigl, actually saying that, Honigl a little bit closer. I wonder whether Mobers has been slightly unsighted by the back marker who just spun off the track there. I think that was possibly that was Jörg Michael Tiet who just came on there. It may have been Helge. It was Helge Hansen who was just ahead of, and that is the other Frenchman. And it was Hansen there who spun in front of Mobers but didn't take him out, so that's fine. But it's meant, of course, that Honigl is much, much closer. When it comes to dealing with traffic, it normally takes the front driver a little bit longer than the guy coming after him, because by the time one person's gone past them, the other cars are used to it. But in these top heats, oh, to the inside there, Honigl just seems to have a lot more speed coming through the TV turns, but then looks like how Mobers hold it back again. He was really under pressure there going in. Let's take a lap again, down the straight, turning tight, in, doesn't get the switch back this time. And Mobers relaxes and can hold Honigl back, those 2-3 tenths behind him. Honigl it really is as close as he can get. He's slightly overshooting some of the corners. He will take out the back of Mobers' car. Mobers, meanwhile, looks supremely relaxed at the moment. But of course, he said with the back markers again, it's a situation where when they've let one person through, they can often let another one. But there's a referee here who's calling the drivers, telling them where somebody may be. And they'll say, one car's coming. You need to move over. So they move down through the Protoform P and back through the Center S. Again, these cars have been nailed together for the last couple of minutes, since the start, really. Honigl a little bit closer, but it seems really that Mobers is running his line. It does tend to be much easier to follow than to lead. You can just push hard, and certainly, this is the first leg, and you want to get a good result, so you won't have some of the do-or-die moves you might see in leg 3, because it really does matter to get some points on the board. And Honigl now getting closer and closer and closer. But it's a mistake, so he eased up. He got so much closer, then suddenly he's up. And now this is danger. This is danger for Mobers. He's got 3 cars to get through. The first one's gone by, and that's Kurzweil. The next one he's got to come up to is the red and white machine of Mark Stiles. And he's looking around, and can he get through Stiles? Not so quickly. Stiles is actually battling with Jörg Michael Tiet, the Estonian youngster, and he's let him through. And now, oh, that was so close. What happened was the Estonian stopped. He actually stopped so quickly he spun. Luckily, Honigl avoided him, but he took out Styles. So really bad luck for Mark. And what was basically trying to be good driving from the junior champion. He will win the junior champion. He's the youngest person, the only person under 16 in the final. Jorg Michael from Estonia. Backfired for Styles, but luckily our leaders have carried on going through. And it's still the black and the yellow car, the on point with mob gum tyres and Orion power for, and always getting really close again for Markus Mobers, where of course it's the CRC for Hupo Honigl. Not in his usual racy colours, because of course at the moment he's trying to buy, he's got a body shell, he painted white here, he's gone for that single Blanco look, and all of a sudden, you see a little I didn't really see what mistake that Hupo made, but there's breathing room, there's breathing space for Mobers as we get now down towards well over halfway in this, the first leg of 3. It's the best two to count, scores to count. You get 10 points for a win, 9 points for second, and if you have equal number of points, it's the single best result that counts. So getting a 10 on the board pretty much guarantees you a place on the... Oh, he's put out! He just lost it. Mobers there, suddenly just lost it. He just clipped the bottom and he made one little mistake, spun out. Hupo is through like a rat up a drain pipe and he's completely out. Fox Mobers, just one tiny mistake by Mobers, and Honigl has taken the... And now it's a chance for Mobers to chase him down in the remaining 3 minutes. Can he do it? 2.5 minutes, sorry. Mobers looking very, very racy now. He was under pressure and he just buckled with a tiny mistake. And I think he may actually have spun the car out on that blue sort of it's actually blue grass. It's fake grass but blue. I don't know why the heck you want to have that. Where would you put fake blue grass? I have no idea. But it is quite high. It's quite proud. He just got a wheel on that and it just clipped out and spun out. But suddenly now he's right on the tail. As you say, it's finding it easier to go faster when you're chasing. And he's now the one who's flying round the apex of the corner. And Honigl's the one who's staying as tight as he possibly can. Honigl now. Looking secure, but he obviously has quite a lot of pressure. But now, when they were running free air before, it was quite noticeable. And look at that. It is still happening. Honigl is quicker in this section here, from down the straight into the TV turns. He pulls a bit of a gap. He can own a gap. He gets a bit more. Though Mobers is fast, but he's following with leading. The problem happens in this section here, where Mobers is much quicker around that corner. Through the Zen Racing, oh, it was my mistake. Through the Zen Racing Z, up that's in the Pro Formation, but he came out there of the Zen Racing Z, and suddenly what he handed to Hupo was a gift of 3/4 of an extra second in the lead, because he clicked this bottom corner here as they go up the ZRS and down the straight. We are down to the last couple of laps now. Honigl and Mobers, it's as close as it can possibly be as they take their way through. Mobers looking left and looking right. He's caught back up again from that mistake, but Honigl making his car as wide as possible. Mobers get a bit late there into the outer corner. We're now right down to the end of the race, and Mobers is lost time there. Honigl is going to take this, the first leg of the A final in stock. It's going to be a win for Austria and Hupo Honigl, and second place for Markus Mobers and Germany. And they're off. It's a clean start for everybody, actually. So they all get through. It's there's a bit of damage later, about the 8th and the 9th have a problem, but the 1, 2, 3 are 1, 2, 3, and in fact 4 is 4. So Martini, who made about a lap in the last race, is taking part in this one, but immediately we now move back into the phase as a slight mistake by Honigl just gives a little bit of breathing room to Mobers. Now Honigl said in his post-race interview after leg 1 that he actually enjoyed leading more than following. Well, he's doing both at the moment. He's following Honigl, but he's leading out Alexander Laurent. But at the moment, Mobers looking pretty untouchable. He's got a second lead, and it's going to take a little bit of work by Honigl to start easing that one back again. He just does a few hundredths a second that time round. Honigl. Another clear lap for Mobers. 12.1, that's a very fast lap, and a 12.2 for Honigl. So Mobers has obviously decided, literally, I'm going to put the hammer down. I'm not going to leave anything on the ground in my attempt to win this second leg and take the stock A final to 3 legs. I'm not quite so confident about the modified A final going to 3 legs after the domination of Alexander Hagberg in leg 1. So Mobers now takes it down the main straight, coming into the TV turns, very quiet. almost hushed like a bit. Everyone concentrate, even the crowds concentrate on what's happening, trying to see what's going on. There's like accident there in the backfield that doesn't concern our leaders. So Mobers now through the TV turns. Comes switch back to the Hots hairpin. Roundabout again, up through the Zen Racing Z and through the Predaform P and the S. And so at the end of that lap, his lead that was 1.26 seconds is now 1.27 seconds. So a hundredth of a second gain, but it wasn't lost. So we're 2 minutes down, 6 minutes to go. Almost like a game of chess this early part of the race. They wait for the cars to settle, start saying what to do. And I think visibly now, I think Honigl's starting to ease back close to them. And 1.3 seconds. He looked. I think again, it's different parts of the circuit. Hupo's quicker in this first part of the circuit. He's quicker as you go through these TV turns. And once you get to this part of the circuit here, the Zen Racing Z and the Predaform P, then it's an area where Markus's car is slightly faster. And I think that lead will come down from 1.3. There's that way 1.2 indeed. So visibly, and now with still with 5.5 minutes to go, Honigl's starting to eke back, but it's interesting. Even then, he just took a tiny bit of extra, too much curb, and that he loses those picoseconds you need as he goes back to 1.092. So 2/10 picked up there, 12.5 to 12.3. But I think you'll find it's going to go slightly out again because there was a mistake by Honigl in that last lap. It's 12.3 to 12.3, so it was exactly the same. Looks like Hupo has got slightly, minutely, just the legs on Markus, but it's going to take him a very long time at 400ths a lap to catch up. And he's got 4, and he just made a mistake, and that's going to really, really slap him back. But when you're gaining just hundredths of a second each lap, if you make a mistake that loses you a second, that's 25 laps to make it up. And he hasn't got 25 laps. He's got about 20. Honigl, CRC, the Austrian. Behind him, it's Alexander Loret and Francesco Martini, who's getting a run for the first time. He only managed a lap last time, we had a problem. Last time round, it was a 12.4 for both, 12.4 for Mobers and 12.5 for Honigl. The lead eked out to 1.5 seconds. Behind them, it's Laurent, Martini, Kurzweil, Stiles and Vesa Ili. And we are halfway down, and so far every single centimetre has been led by Markus Mobers. And every single centimetre has seen in second place Hupo Honigl. But we've not seen, we've seen a very slight ebb and flow, but the lowest that Markus's lead has been after the second lap is a second. And right now, it's running around about a second and a half. Plenty of time to go though. As they lap within hundredths of each other. That time round, Markus was 400ths faster in the lap than Hupo. Hupo's now got Jörg Michael Tiet in front of him. I'm sure he'll be told to remove himself from the equation. Does a brilliant job there, gets out of the way. Mobers now just taken a lap on car 8 of Helge Johansson. And next up, it'll be Hupo to take that as well. Hupo just beginning to get a little bit closer. Mobers, I think, probably just going back into more of his comfort zone from 100% attack. 2 minutes 50 to go. About 12 laps left. And definitely Hupo now, he's down to a second again. This is the closest it's been since the last time Hupo made a small mistake, and he's already clipping corners. And we come down the straight now. There's one car between them, and that's the car of, I think, of Vesa Ili. But the gap now is down below a second. And Hupo probably is thinking, I've got to really push. At this point now, it doesn't really matter. He's got one win. If he wants to be European champion, he can push as hard as he likes. And he falls off. Great driving there by Ali. And suddenly these two are much, much closer. And suddenly it's building up to a crescendo with 2.25 minutes to go. Gap down to 7/10 of a second. Visibly now, it's no problem at all for Frank to have both cars in the same frame and quite large. And I think at this point, suddenly you think that, right, is Mobers going to get the hurry up? Is Mobers going to start, let's give it a bit more? He knows he runs it clean, he's probably safe. That's what didn't happen in leg one. He made one mistake at the TV turns, bounced out the corner, only lost half a second, but that half a second saw Hupo zip through, and Hupo now is sniffing the wheel tracks again. He sees the German, the mob gums, the on-point driver. The CRC machine of Hupo. Right behind him. And now it's taken him 6.5 minutes to get there. But as they go through the platform, a bit of a fishtail at the back there, they turn into the centre S's, and suddenly they're right together. Hupo now looking left, looking right as he goes through the TV turns, sprinting now through the short shoot, and he just eases back. He has to give it space. They turn in and hit each other. It's just a tiny mistake by Markus as they went onto turned left onto the centre S's, and now Hupo's all over him. Just running his lines. It's all that Markus can do now. Is run his lines. Be as wide as you can, make a 12th car that's 172 millimetres wide, make it even wider. Oh, well, look at that, there's Hupo thinking about it again. Hupo, will he make a lunge, or will he try and wait for a mistake? There's 47 seconds to go. They are covered by about 3 cars, and there's a little mistake there. Now, how quickly he can catch up? He decided to try and get inside the corners here with a kind of the blue brush. Doesn't do you any good. You can't steal any more than that little bit of white plastic. But he's right back again. Mobers, is he tightening up or is he just driving his controlled race? Hupo now, left, right, looking to see whether he can become a European champion for the nth time. But they've got traffic coming up at 20 seconds to go. And the traffic is Styles and the traffic is probably Kurzweil, I guess, who've raced each other non-stop for the last 10 years. And now they need to get out of the way of our leaders, Mobers and Honigl. Mobers, the pressure must be unrelenting and unbelievable as we move now. He's just got 2 corners to go. He's got 2 corners in, and he's done it! Superb there. Honigl's got through, but the race is over. So Honigl passed after the race had finished. Honigl quite slow away. He wants to make sure he doesn't get nibbled by Laurent, but they're off 1 and 2. And it is Mobers leading from Honigl. Honigl has a dodgy moment there coming through the second part of the Protoform P, and he's got a trouble. He doesn't want to get himself eaten up by Laurent. He's not too bad to make a small mistake at the beginning. He's got 7 minutes and 50 seconds to put it right. But if he drops back behind Laurent, then that's going to absolutely scupper his chances of doing anything. Mobers gets away, and now it's down to Honigl to try and drag back to him. Francesco Martini is running in 4th. He had a problem in the first one. It looks like car 8 of Helge Johansson has just broken down. He's hit the side and it stopped working. Mobers now, a lead of 1.4 seconds. Not that caused by he was ahead to begin with, and secondly, there's a kind of a squidgy bit in the first lap and Martini makes a mistake, flies off the track, but no mistakes from our leader, who has now eked out his lead to 1.6. So a very confident, a very powerful start from Markus Mobers. Markus, who of course was involved in what looked like controversy at the end of the A final in modified, when he had a coming together with Alexander Hagberg on the last lap, and then kind of sort of let it go, didn't let it go, then let it go. He said, I didn't want to win, and he just said to me, I didn't want to win it that way. He was a bit confused, and he didn't want to win that way, so he let Hagberg go through. And I think he wasn't totally convinced that the accident was entirely his fault, but did the sporting thing. And we have a new champion from Sweden in the modified class. Honigl now is just trying. He's managed to stabilise the gap at the second and half. He's managed to throw off the attentions of Alexander Laurent. Let's go back to Honigl, 1 car. So this is our chasing man. You can see that's a second and a half on the track. It looks like a long way, but these cars are pretty quick and they cover large distances. And you can lose that quite quickly with a couple of clips. But at the moment, it looks like Mobers is doing a pretty solid up job, though I think he has actually dropped a tiny bit over the last couple of quarters. At 1.55. I think this time round we're going to see it's closer. Though of course it is deceptive because Hupo is much quicker going into TV turns, whereas Mobers is much quicker when he runs into the middle, into the Zen Z and the Protoform P. You see, the actual distance was exactly the same. It just looked shorter at this part of the track. So they're lapping in almost exactly the same time. 12.432 for Mobers and 12.248 for Honigl. So Honigl picked up a couple of tenths there. Squabbling in the background are Kurzweil, Styles and Martini, but we're looking at the chase from Mobers to try and get up to... So the chase from Honigl to try and get up to Mobers. And, oh, no, slight error there from Honigl. That's cost him a few tenths. He came in the second part of the Z and he lost 6 tenths in that one run, though he has got a bit of ground speed advantage. He's run 2 or 3 very fast laps and he's absolutely pushing everything he can. He's as tight as he can possibly be and pushing as hard as he can just to make up a few tenths. And he gained 1 that time. He lost 6 the previous lap with a little clip. It's a high-risk strategy, but what else can you do? You just got to go for it. So we now move back forward to our leader again, to Mobers as he comes around the TV turns, because he's got some traffic to deal with. This could be a key point as he gets through the traffic Normally, the first person to reach traffic tends to have more trouble with them than the people who come afterwards. And we are now 4:45 to go. It's 3:15 down. And Mobers has a 1.7 second lead, but it can. There's always slight confusion there with Vesa Lee, but I think he got away with that one without losing too much time. So Vesa let him through. I think he was trying to let him through and confused him because he wouldn't let him through so badly. 10th of a second disappeared at that point. Following now the yellow machine. I think that's of Roubaix. I think that was. He's now gone past. And the lead goes down to 1.3 as he goes past more traffic. Now, of course, Honigl is going to go on this traffic as well. And Honigl is now currently behind Vesa, who lets him through. Down the straight goes Mobers. Mobers gets inside Jorg Michael Tiet there, the green and orange car. Next on his victims to be lapped will be Mark Stiles with his traditional white and red body. Number 6 car. Doing what he can do. So Stiles, though, is not far off. What's happening during this period? You've seen that during this traffic period, Honigl has picked up about 3/4 of a second. He's now less than a second behind Mobers. Mobers taking it very, very easily. He's not making any risks as he gets past traffic, and therefore the lead has dropped down to just 1 second. Though half a second picked up there as Honigl himself was held up in traffic. Now there's 2 more cars for Mobers to navigate. The first one is Francesco Martini. The second one is Chris Kurzweil. As the lead comes down, we have 3 minutes to go in this, the European Stock Championship, brought to you by Protoform Zen Racing and EFRA. We are RC Racing TV, and the clock is RC timing. Honigl now looking a bit closer. I think there's a slight error in there from Mobers, and so we're now going to go down below the second again. And his quarry can be seen, 1.077 seconds, but the fact is that as Martini moves out the way for Mobers, so moves out the way for he had to move that way for racing with Kurzweil, but this now means he's beginning backed up, and Mobers is being backed up into Honigl, and the lead is visibly less, and you can actually get them both in the same frame really easy now to come through the Z and down the P. And there's 2 cars ahead, which of course, even though they're about to be lapped down, they're squabbling with themselves, which is causing a problem, but also they're not that much slower, but it's worked out really well for that, because Kurzweil made a light mistake, and it enabled that Mobers to get through. Oh, and that's it! As he tried to get inside, Hupo clipped the inside barrier trying to get inside Kurzweil, and he's dropped way back with 2 minutes to go. He's now back 2.5 seconds, and it's just, you can't make that up. It's a single mistake, and it's all gone wrong for Honigl. All that can go wrong now is if Mobers makes a mistake, and Mobers doesn't even just drive anywhere near his ultimate speed with 2 minutes to go. He really doesn't. He can just cruise, basically. So he's now done, coming up to 16 minutes in the lead of a race. He's led the whole of leg 2, and now he's going to lead the whole of leg 3. And as a result of that, he's going to become the European champion. As a result of that, we need to ask Frank not to turn the recording off. He's marvellous. But so there we are. We've got Martini now is kind of tailing behind Mobers, and Mobers not really pulling away. It's pretty obvious that Mobers now is already pacing himself to the end of this European Stock Championship. He'll be retaining the championship won last year in Oulu in Finland. Much bigger class, much bigger entry this year. And it's been a good event for Mobers, as he's looking like he's going to get a podium position in the modified class as well. But as we come down now, it's all worked out really, really well for Mobers. He's got 45 seconds to go. Honigl 2.5 seconds back with 2 cars in between and not really making any impression. Honegl's kind of just shoulders have dropped. He's going on, well, no, it's out of my control. There's nothing I can do now apart from drive around and hope that something goes wrong with Mobers' car. But as it stands, with 25 seconds to go, we're going to see the German take the European Championship. Given the fact how quickly he got a lap ahead of Francesco Martini, the fact he's not actually pulled anything out in the last 7 laps to give you an idea of how much within himself Mobers is driving at the moment. Sometimes a risky strategy, something it's risky not to be pushing, but I think Mobers is experienced enough to be able to run at 97%, which is still 100% faster than I can run, not make a mistake, keep the pace up. You can see, you'll be able to see in his peripheral vision where Honigl is. And Honigl pulls a little bit. I think Honigl's actually drifting back. So even though he's well within himself, he's moving forwards. Honigl's spirit's sort of broken. It's all over. And the winner is Markus Mobers. He is European champion again. Markus, congratulations. You've retained your European Championship.
Yes. Yeah, I'm happy. It was kind of hard with Hupo. He was pressuring me a lot, you know. But when he made some small mistakes, I could have stressed down, you know, and take it easy. So, but I'm happy.
What's the secret about driving these stock cars quickly? It's underpowered machines. What's the difference about driving a mod car? What's the secret?
It's totally different. With modified, you really have to be careful on the throttle, and with stock, you really have to push. You know, you really have. Actually, you have to practice more for stock to go fast than modified. So, and as I run a lot in the US stock, so I'm pretty used to it.